Hey guys, how are you doing today? We are going to do a little yin practice to help invite a little bit of de-stressing within the mind and also helping to calm us down emotionally. But this is also great for any of us who are very active, multi-directional sports, even the swimmers that get out there and really hit it. But it's great because this practice helps to get into our deep connective tissue, where it's closer to the joints. And then this practice will sustain the poses a little bit longer. And what that will do, will help it to invite that deep connective tissue to slowly begin to release. And it's really difficult to actually tap into that deep connective tissue when we're in a more active practice, because we're really working up and resisting away from gravity, working up against it. Where here we surrender a little bit more into gravity, though we still stabilize around the joints, but it just helps to invite that deep connective tissue to release, versus again in an active practice where we don't allow that deep soaking into that deep connective tissue for an invitation for release. All right, so you need a couple blocks, a blanket just in case you have some sensitivity in the knees or maybe the pelvis area, good attitude, and just time to slow down. Okay, let's get started. Hit the mat. And let's just take a couple moments in a child's pose. So if your knees are sensitive, you may want to take that blanket, slide it right underneath there. And let's start with a wide child's pose. And let the arms come overhead. You're going to bring the head to the ground. But if the head does not touch the earth, use the blanket or block under the head, or put your hands under the head, all right? And just slowly come all the way down. And just release here. Take a moment or two to breathe in and out. You get yourself grounded here in this moment. Again, we're slowing it down a little bit today, so we want to invite our mind and our body and our spirit to just chill out. We tend to push a little bit more, which is not bad, but in today's world, we're always pushing. So we need to find that balance, pulling back a bit. I actually want you guys to set an intention to just about slowing down, being present. And slowly come on up at the table. And then you can put your hands on your blocks. And let's bring the right leg forward, and I'll mirror you guys today. And we can slowly lengthen the left leg a little further back. Let the tops of the toes touch the ground. And then make sure you have a straight line from your left toes all the way up to that left hip flexor. Okay, the hands will just start on those blocks. Feel that left leg soak into the ground and just gently lift the torso up a little bit here. And then noticing the right foot in your toes. Already become aware if you're clenching up in your toes, let the toes be relaxed. And you want to feel the 4 press points underneath this right foot really soaking into the ground. So underneath that big toe, pinky toe, on either side of your heel, soaking down. Lift your sternum up just a little bit here and feel that little tuck under the pubic bone. This is going to get into that deep connective tissue in the pelvis, also helping around into the glutes in the back, because we're going to sustain this for a couple moments here. This could be it for you, and that's fine. It's a nice challenge. If you want to go maybe a little deeper into this yin practice, bring your hands up onto your right thigh and just let the hands soak down into that thigh bone As your hands are soaking down, the sternum lifts up a little bit more, and the shoulder blades go down your back. And just breathe. Noticing too that this practice will be difficult for some of us. Because normally in our yoga practice, we are moving from pose to pose, and this one's all about an invitation to relax and slow down. And that's hard for some of us. But this is a good time, especially, if you're a college student or college athlete, if you're approaching finals, to slow down a little bit. Get your mind to recover so you'll rest better at night, preparing you for those finals, getting you into summertime. You can notice if you're tensing anywhere. And if you feel any sharp or shooting sensations, come out of it. Ease up a little bit more. But dull sensations are totally normal. It's actually tapping into that deep connective tissue. Letting you know, hello, you're there. Just take a nice deep breath in. Full exhalation out. Slowly bring your hands down on your blocks. And we're going to bring the right foot back. Open the thighs a little bit wider. Notice how the hips feel now. And then gently just come back to child's pose and rest for a moment. Let your breath be fluid. Settle into this gentle-like practice where we're not, jumping around or pounding on the joints. But yet it's a very challenging practice mentally. Come on up in the table. And we're going to bring our left foot forward, okay? And then try to lengthen that right leg a little further back. Again, straight line from your right toes all the way up to the hip. Make sure you're not clenching up in the toes on that left foot. Lift your sternum up. Shoulder blades down. Maybe a little tuck under the pubic bone. And then if it's comfortable, bring the hands up on the thigh. Relax the shoulders. Keep lifting the sternum. Now this practice is super challenging mentally. It sort of brings us to this point where the mind is at first thinking, how much longer am I going to be here? How much longer do I need to sustain? I need to get this done. But then what's really special is that when you practice that acceptance and be present of where you are and surrendering over to the in practice, you actually go a little deeper mentally and emotionally, and you have a nice release of tension. So I know it's challenging. be right here. But give over to it if you can. And the benefits will be rather large and effective in your life. Notice if you're tensing anywhere, okay? Like if the shoulders are creeping up, press them down. Just keep lifting your heart. Close your eyes and feel. Breathe deeply into sensation. Beautiful. Take a deep, deep breath in. Full exhalation out. Slowly bring the hands down. Go ahead and release back with the left leg. Open the thighs. Come back to that wide child's pose. And notice as you're going back how both hips, the pelvis, and even the back feel now. Could feel a little intense. You can also notice how it feels a little looser, a little more open. Slowly come back up. Hands come back on the blocks. And let's go with the right foot forward again. Left leg back. And here you could take one block or maybe both blocks. And you can stack them up on each other any way you want them to be. And either you're going to go ahead and take the left hand on the block, or you'll bring your left forearm on the block. And you bring that right hand on the upper right thigh. You'll lift the sternum slightly, and then just gently twist the torso right. Now you can keep the right hand on the upper thigh, or you can take the right arm and go a half-bound arm to stabilize the rotator cuff muscles and feel that right shoulder go down. And you can either look here softly to the right, or maybe close your eyes. Or if that's just too much today, look directly down towards that left forearm, okay? And then I want you to try and breathe into the hips. Deep breath in. Focusing on the hip flexors there, the groin, the lower back, and as you exhale, you're letting all the tension go. And now you may seem a little more open to the practice. We've really begun to settle in. That's the challenge. Can we allow our mind and our body and our spirit just to slow down? It's so hard in our day and times. But this is actually when we need to slow down a little bit more. Help keep our sanity in stressful times. Whether again you're a student or an athlete, or the kids are just driving you bonkers at home. Pulling back's not a bad thing. It's actually really good. Take a deep breath in. Full exhalation out. We're going to release out here. Hands come down onto the blocks. Lift the torso up. Slowly bring the right leg back. Noticing now how that hip feels. Go back to child's pose again. Breathe in and out. And slowly come back up. And this time we'll bring the left leg forward. Blocks can stay where they are. Just put the left foot on the outside of the block. Lengthen the right leg a little further back if you can. We're going to drop weight either on our right hand or the right forearm. Make sure that that elbow is not going way back behind your shoulder. We're sliding the left hand on the upper left thigh. Roll the shoulder blade down. We gently twist left. You can look down again if that's better for you. We're gently looking to the left or closing our eyes. And don't completely fall apart in your pelvis, okay? It's still a little lift. But it's not as active as we normally are in our hatha practice, our active practice. Feel free to do half bound arm if you want to with that left arm. Shoulders down, the back. Again, notice your breathing. Can it deepen? Can it become fluid? Can you stay present? Can you ride that wave of emotion, of deep sensation? Can you be accepting and open? Take a deep, deep breath in. Full exhalation out. And slowly come back home. Press up. And gently come back again. Table for a moment. Feeling the hips, the thighs, the back. And then go back to child's pose. Slowly inhaling up. Go ahead and put the blocks to the side. Some of us want to take our blanket and lie it down on the ground. And then we'll lay the pelvis right on top of that blanket. This is good as we're coming into a Sphinx pose. But that blanket there can support if you have any pinching in your lower back when your pelvis is down on the ground. So some of us will just bring the arms in, shoulder blades down, and hold a little more upright. Some of us with this pose will extend the arms a little further forward and let the head come down a little bit more and the shoulders release. This could just feel really good for the neck and the shoulders, but also a nice grounding pose. Some of us may actually extend the arms and lift the sternum, but still have the shoulders go down. So there's a little bit more of that lift and action here with arms extended. But this could be exactly what the body needs, especially stretching the front of the psoas, lengthening it, and also getting a nice, safe back bend. So this is where you choose, right? What feels best for you with your arms? Where you feel like you can get the best release. Feel free to close your eyes. Feel free to breathe. Let it be a flowing breath. And it does sound kind of silly, right? Feel free to breathe. I would hope that you could breathe anyway. Can't have you falling over here. The inside of my brain. It's wonderful to share it with you. Now notice, if the shoulders are creeping up and you're tightening up, you still want the shoulders to go down the back, the pelvis to drop into the ground. Still a little lift in the heart. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, bring the hands down under the head and bring the forehead right onto the hands and rest. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Press yourself up. Find that blanket. Make a nice big rectangle here. And then gently roll it up. It's nice and long. Tuck under one end to make a little pillow. And you'll end up taking that blanket, putting it down on the ground, on your mat. I'll do it sideways so you can see what's going to happen here. And you'll take the glutes just off the blanket. And you're going to lie back over the blanket and position so that little pillow's under the head and support your cervical spine. And that blanket should be right on the spine, and your shoulder blades should go drape right over it. If you need to, you'll take the blocks and they're going to go under your knees as you'll extend those legs out. But you don't need to have the blocks under the knees. Turn the palms face up. Tuck the chin slightly. Let the feet roll out to the side. We come into this nice supported Shavasana. Close your eyes. Let your breath become shallow. Each passing breath, release the muscles a little bit more, the pecs, sides of the body, the legs, the palms. Turn up towards the ceiling, and you feel the thumbs become very heavy as they pull or fall down or soak down into the ground. I want you to stay here. Good 5 to 10 minutes. Allow yourself to melt away here. Take this time for you. You're no longer a student, athletes, parents, sibling. You're just a heavy body on the earth, letting go. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Namaste.